welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, I won't be doing this alone. I have with me a pretty tackle the hardship in the country. The speaker said legislating the executive in restoring the citizen on the path of prosperity. He further stated that the 10th House would maintain the tradition established by the 9th House in theme of speeding consideration of the appropriation bills while returning the country to January December budget cycles as well as submission of report by the ad hoc committee. The speaker, while appealing to the organized labor not to embark on the nationwide strike, assured that the House must put in extra work hours to ensure that the budget is passed in good time to enable its implementation from the first day of 2024. In another development, the House had resolved to investigate as well as regulate cases of unethical exploitative practice in health. This resolution followed a motion at the House plenary by the Baba Jimmy Banson. Leading the debate on the motion, the lawmakers, he is alarmed by the fact that the fertility center has capitalized on the absence of suitable regulatory framework to exploit providers, donor, and potentially engage in the trade of donor eggs. He said if the trade is not urgently cracked, it will lead to an increase in cases of infertility, fertility, and cancer infections among young donor and surrogates, as well as promoting exploiting practices. Of course, this is, we have been waiting for the government to say something at the House of Rep. Let's look at what the House of Rep has to say in a video.
I'm aware that most of the other committees are yet to conclude their reports. In this light and development, I wish to direct that all other committees should conclude their assignments and submit their reports on or before 3rd of October 2023. Accordingly, all other committees of the House. My dear colleagues, permit me to express my displeasure at the failure of some state caucuses to send their nominations for membership of the standing committees. This is in spite of all pleas made to us before our recess and assurances received from the state caucuses. As a result, therefore, we are yet to fully populate the standing committees of the House. Consequently, the House leadership has resolved to make such nominations. For level, it appears, would embark on a nationwide strike by this midnight, following the expiration of the 21 days ultimatum issued to government. As the people's representatives, we feel and equally share in the pains of our people at these very difficult times. However, I would like to appeal to the Nigerian Labour Congress to consider the various actions being taken by the federal government to alleviate the current hardship faced by Nigerians. As promised earlier, this House remains committed to getting a survival wage to all Nigerian workers. The 10th House had assured Nigerians that would.
The House is worried that women.
It may just be one of those rhetorics, you know.
It's not funny though, but we are looking at this way. I mean, if you're coming up to tell one that is miserable that I want to do this thing for you, the person needs to see at least as you have taken a step. It's not just coming to tell the person, don't worry, I will help you, because the question will definitely be asked, in what ways are you going to help me? So what have they put in place? How is the speaker planning to tackle economic challenges, especially the subsidy that is going on right now, to improve the well-being of Nigeria? How is it planning to tackle all of those?
I'm not their spokesperson, neither am I their public relations person. But I know one of the things that I know that they have done that is quite impressive. We talked about it on one of our shows on ATN, and then is the fact that right now they are working on, they say they are going to monitor the investigation into mobile murder and the outcome and all of that. And we are saying we want to see, that's an idea. For instance, talking about assuring the well-being of Nigeria is an idea, is at the ideation stage. Now we want to see key performance index. What are the things to look at for? Who is responsible for what? Don't just make headlines, like you said. Nigerians, we don't care about headlines anymore. We want to see this is what to look at for. So we can now say, okay, the National Assembly, the House of Rep, the Green Chamber said they are doing A, B, C, D to Z. We are now monitoring as a people. They have done this, they have done this. But if there is nothing on ground, this is just an idea, and they are talking about it. You want to assure us, how do you want to assure us? Maybe talking about the fertility issues and surrogacy and all of that. We expect you to talking to the committee in charge of health, for instance, to ensure that that is properly modulated. We want to see in the next sitting, for instance, the committee making a presentation to say, this is what we discovered about issue of fertility, surrogacy, and embryo, and all of those details. This is what we discovered. This is where Nigeria is at. We want to see the committee, for instance, talk about little girls that are forced to go into surrogacy in order to pay their bills.
At this point, we are just holding you by your words. In the next sitting, if nothing is done about it, I think Nigeria will not even give hope 4 days anymore. Let it not just be one of those headlines, but it's a good one. We really commend them for even coming up to say something. So we hope they will come up with something positive. And now going to the next story, the House of Representatives yesterday constituted an ad hoc committee to investigate alleged forceful collections of 500,000 by police on travelers for security weapon given to security agents to protect lives and property are now being used by some unscrupulous security agents to harass and dehumanize law-abiding travelers within the South. They don't even care about the people in the and then you're just struggling with the wind. I'm like, it's not a new thing, because I know most times whenever they see governor or we are not saying this because we are trying to tarnish the image of police, but it's something that is happening every day. And I keep asking them, driver, is this one part of government work? Is this what government asks them to do? They will tell you.
Really no way you can say, oh, this would work or this wouldn't work. So bottom line is, we need to come together, agree that the police as it is in the present, it's not working for everyone. Don't get me wrong. I know some of the best police officers in this country. I have been privileged to work, and I can proudly, anytime, hold my head high to say that I know some of the fantastic police officers in this country till date. However, the bad eggs, those who don't even know what they're supposed to be doing as officers, outnumbers the few who are genuine officers working genuinely for what they are employed to do. So how do you check that? Like I said, we need to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, for these 63 years, for instance, this is our 63rd anniversary as a country, right?
Yes.
The Independence Day. So for these 63 years, we have had the Nigerian police run like A, B, C, D to Z. From A to H, has it worked? You're saying, okay, keep this on the side. What else can we do? Get consultants, get security experts. Let them begin to bring, some of them even have documentation that's been sent in over the years. So I believe that until we get to the drawing board and begin to check the excesses and figure out what to do about it, and actually being seen to do something about, which is a total overhauling of the system, we cannot get the police at least working at about 80%.
Okay. Well, it's actually, majority of them will always complain because there is no money. And I'm asking, how are they planning to collaborate with the House of Representatives to bring to fetch these people out? Because like you rightly say, we always have bad egg in their midst. Yes, it's not totally out of it. But how do they bring them? And then the second question I want to ask, so you answer them all together. And now they're definitely going to work with people like eyewitnesses and of course whistleblowers to be able to fish these people out, because right now they are seeing it as accusation. It is not yet the fact.
What was the first question?
how well
The second one is whistleblower.
Yes. Then the first one is
Eyewitnesses.
how would they collaborate with the police? Because this has to do with them. How would they now collaborate with the House of Representatives to bring these people to a book? Because the House of Rep, they are very interested in this particular story now. And then there are people out there that will stand as eyewitnesses and the whistleblowers. How do they protect their identity?
Okay, here is the thing about harassing people on the road. Like we already said, it's an established fact. No commissioner in any state will say he or she is not aware of what goes on the road. I remember when the CPOE came into Port Harcourt newly, the governor of Rivers State now, Sassin Lai Fubara, said, hey, look, your men are causing a lot of nuisance. They are creating more problems on the road that I want to tolerate. CPOE was seen putting up the fence for them. But I've been harassed on more than one occasion on the road by Nigerian police force for closing work early and late and going home, doing legitimate work and going home. And I mean, what has been done about that? Nothing. That's the gospel truth. That's on one side. If you also look at it from the other side and ask yourself, what has the police done to ensure that they have a good reputation? It boils down to the same thing. Who is doing it? Who wants to do it? Who cares that there is need for the police to have a good reputation in order for them to do their job? So speaking of the House of Reps' ability to cooperate with the Nigerian police, it boils down to, again, understanding that their function beyond lawmaking is also to see that laws that are in existence are working, are being implemented. And like if there is a lacuna that exists anywhere, this is the time to soak it. Can we look back at the book? What are the rules binding on whistleblowers, eyewitnesses, those who would want to testify over a case, for instance? Are they protected? Where is our safe houses in this country? If I have an information and I want to give an information about an elite, for instance, do I trust the system enough to say that they will protect me? The answer
you have answered all the questions. And now, before we went on a short break, because this is what I really wanted to ask the viewers. This is for you, the viewers. You can drop this on the comment section. If there's a platform provided for citizens to drop a video, like if you're in a public transport, like we rightly say, and then you see a policeman extorting money from people, you video it. If you post it in a particular platform, do you think that they will provide something, they will provide an avenue enough for the reporter to be safe? So this is for you. I'm asking because we need to do something. Even if you report them, who are you reporting to? It's still a security personnel, and they're still going to cover the whole stuff. There is no way you can send it to the governor directly.
Yeah.
There is no way you can actually do that. It's still going to be police personnel. So what is the best way you think that we can handle this? Now, this is the question. What is the best way you think we can handle this in our country? Because it's becoming something. We keep hearing this every now and then. So we'll go on a short break to return shortly. Welcome back. This is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network, and now to the rest of our stories. A landlord identified simply as Michael has allegedly poured hot water on an 11-year-old girl identified only as Princess. Report gathered that the incident happened on Saturday in Mowe, Bafami, Owode local government area of Ogun State. Following the incident, the sister of the tenant in the house, who gave her name as Ejiro, said her sister had planned to leave the apartment, which she rented. She noted that it was due to the fear of being beaten by the landlord, who has allegedly made it an habit to beat the girl and her mother when she was still with the man. I am here to see my sister at Ababa Ticket area, Oniro Fresh 3, Mowe. My sister told me her landlord beat the daughter of his ex-trans woman wife. I thought it was a normal beating, but last Thursday I heard the sound of someone throwing punch at somebody. I asked who was being punched, and a neighbor told me it was the landlord punching his daughter. When he rushed there, he saw that he held his whip and was beating her. When I asked him why he was beating her, he said the girl refused to go to school. We begged him to stop, and he did. On Friday morning, he still beats the girl. My sister had said she is planning to pack out of the apartment because the landlord may descend on his tenants too one day, as she may be a victim. This morning I saw injuries on the girl's body. I was so scared. He had poured hot water on the girl's body on Saturday. The girl's brother told us that when they were hungry, they told the man that he in turn asked the girl to put hot water on the stove. When he began beating her and when the water was hot, he poured it on her body. He heard her scream that night. Ejiro told the correspondents that she added, there was also a day the man beat the girl for 3 hours because she ate bread. When contacted Princess' mother, Grace Ojile, she said man has always been beating the little girl. Hot water on her body. If you see the back, it was all burnt. He inflicted injuries on her head last week. I just heard that. I am with her at the hospital. Owari Ejire said in picture obtained by the correspondent. Scar expected to be from the hot water injuries. We're seeing part of the princess arm. This is an emotional issue for me as a person, because I know what it means. Body. The problem is the scar. The question, why would she leave her 11-year-old girl? As a child, I asked that question. I never really got an answer. But growing up, I came to understand that sometimes adults are children too, who didn't have anyone to shelter them. They ended up in marriage or in situations. And when they find the same situation, they don't really know how to navigate through that. That woman may not have a proper home where she lives. We don't know her story. She may just be one of those who don't really want a child. But if she is, she wouldn't be worried about her child. So we don't know the circumstances. Some men are so powerful that they don't want their child to stay with the mom. They could say, oh, she's going to teach you how to be a prostitute, or maybe create all kinds of sin to show that he's the one who loves the children more. Sometimes they want to keep the children so that they could have access to always torture the woman. Like she would always have a reason to come back. But again, her reasons for leaving, I'm not making excuses for her. I don't even think any girl child should grow up without the mom or the parents. Because as a mother, you're the first role model in your child's life. You're the first woman in the girl's life, in the boy's life. Just like as a father, you're the first male and the first male role model that child knows. However, the scar on these girls, the skin would heal. Hopefully, proper treatment is given. Good Samaritans can come in to help and all of that. But will the subconscious, other people, friends, female, male and female, are going to end up with her tomorrow? And then this will be reverberating if it is not properly taken care of. And that is what makes a society a difficult place, because sometimes you meet people you're dealing with, you don't know where they are coming from. You don't know why they are the way they are. So you could see a mother, and then you say, why do they always want to be lesbians, for instance? She doesn't know what it means to receive a love from a male.
Because I'm not making excuses for lesbians, but trying to live in. Then that society is because it's a society, for instance, this is happening somewhere in Lagos State, all right?
Yes.
There is a Child Rights Act. The 2003 Child Rights, which protects this child. If the neighbor or the relative hadn't raised a lamb, probably this would just be swept under the rug. Now, mentally imagine how many children are in this state. We're talking about a princess today because someone stood up. But how many children have been abused?
Or even an adult, you should go back to the background and see how figure out how the person actually grew up. This is another question I'm asking the viewers. Now the father said he gave his reason for beating, be it good or bad. Is it the right thing to do? Is it to bath your child with hot water? Not even imagining the kind of pain that she will go through. Like my guest has rightly said, it is not about the physical affliction now. It is the mental. It's a mental, psychological problem that she will be going through after now. And it might end up affecting the society tomorrow. You will be like, the parent did not raise her well. The government really need to do something about this. Now let's look at the next story. No fewer than 3,560 jobs were lost in the manufacturing sectors in the first half of 2023, according to figuring content obtained by the Punch from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Man disclosed this in its half-yearly review of the economy, which was released on Tuesday. According to the report, employment generation in the manufacturing sector declined to 6,428 in the first half of the 2023. This was 32.8% reduction in employment generation capacity when compared with 9,559 jobs generated in the first half of 2022. The report read partly in the same vein, a total of 3,567 jobs were lost in the first half of 2023. If I keep reading, the number alone, about 3,000 something is what we are talking about. And we have been saying the government should come and assist. The government should help us with a job. This is beyond palliatives. At this point, we do not need palliatives. What we want here is, what the citizen, what the people want here is empowerment, to be able to be employers of labor. And I'm asking, with all of this that has happened, because of course it has already happened, has the government done anything to accommodate these people? Because you can imagine we're talking about insecurity, you don't have anything doing.
The system makes it literally difficult for you to do anything. It's in each state of this country that is a riverine part of the country, for instance. What are the maritime jobs that, apart from that which is created by the federal government that is in existence, where are the maritime ministries, for instance, in this country? How much impact? Look at our waterways. So I don't see the government doing anything. I don't even think they understand what needs to be done, and I don't think they care, because if they do, we shouldn't be having such issues. Manufacturers are laying people off because the cost of manufacturing itself is over the roof. And there will be more. This is not going to end just because you're talking about 3,000. There will be more. The question then is, are we ready to accommodate what some of these excesses is going to amount to? I don't think we're ready. But like we say, may God help us.
This is the much we can say, because no matter if we want to keep talking about this, we'll keep going on and on and on. But like she said, if the government is not thinking outside the box, honestly, this is